So we move on to Corporate and Commercial Services Report, and I put agenda item CCS 19/035, potential sale of the Moruya Racecourse. Can I have a mover and seconder, please? Moved by Councillor Tate, seconded by Councillor Pollock. Any questions or debate, councillors? Put them at, Councillor Tate.
Through you, Mayor Innes. I think with our member of the public that came in and spoke this morning.
Sorry. I'll let you close the debate, Councillor Tate. Sorry to interrupt you. Councillor McGinley, did you want to make comment?
Yep, thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Just a quick question, and I'll also have a comment to make, but just around the St John's ambulance thing, where they have a licence to occupy the area which goes till 30 November 2020. I can't pick up whether there's any indication of what happens to that licence after that period, which is not that far away. I'm just wondering if anyone can illuminate that.
Through you, Madam Mayor. So the St John's Ambulance, you're correct, do have a licence until 2020. They'll be one of the key people we'll be consulting with during this period of public notification, and we've already tried to make contact with them about this. The Jockey Club lease commits them to keeping the St John's Ambulance tenure ongoing, but one of the things we might be discussing is whether we extend that lease, that licence they've currently got, to a longer period, and that the Racing New South Wales are supportive of that concept.
Sorry, just to clarify, so the 50-year lease to the Jockey Club, which is intended to be maintained if the sale goes through, as part of that lease, the St John's Ambulance are part of that, but their licence expires in 2020. What do they do in 2020 to continue being there? That's what I'm trying to get at. Or do we have any indication?
Through you, Madam Mayor, we have no specific indication at the moment because they haven't indicated what they want, but that's one of the matters we'll be talking to them about during the notification period, and when we come back to Council to approve for consideration of the sale going through, then that will be one matter that we'll bring back to you.
Thanks for clarifying that. That's good. I did mention I had another comment. Just in terms of we're putting this out for 28 days for public comment, I know the first question I asked myself, and I imagine anyone else would be who's a member of the community, when we're looking at selling a public asset, would say, okay, how much are we getting? Now, I know we can't talk about dollars. I'm not going to make a faux pas here, but it just seems a bit strange. I'm not objecting. It just seems very strange to for public consultation. Hey guys, we're going to sell your racecourse, but we can't tell you what we're going to get. It just seems a bit of an anomaly. How do we get that across to the public?
Through the Mayor, sorry, in relation to this, excuse me, this issue, the reason why it is commercial in confidence is because Racing New South Wales, we understand, are in discussions with other potential venues, and therefore it needs to remain in commercial in confidence. So that's the reason. It's probably more from their perspective, Racing New South Wales and councils. So we need to respect that in terms of confidentiality.
Through you, Madam Mayor, just clarification through the Director or Assistant Director Greenway. We've moved in the position of the selling of this asset rather than establishing a long-term lease with the Racing New South Wales. Were discussions held with that in any way as far as that being a possibility, whereas Council maintained the asset after 99 years? Were there any interest from Racing Australia in that space?
Through you, Madam Mayor, Racing New South Wales were involved in the discussions around the 50-year lease to the Jockey Club, or they were a party to those discussions, and that was granted by this council in December 2017, if my memory serves me correctly. I don't record discussions about whether we would have leased it to the Racing New South Wales rather than to the Jockey Club, but the discussions were with the Jockey Club about leasing it to them.
Councillor, this is going out for 28 days for community consult. I think if you have further questions, which is entirely appropriate, that there will be plenty of opportunities for you to ask those questions going forward, and I certainly encourage you to do that, Councillor. Councillor Mayne.
Thanks, Madam Mayor, through you. And just to pick up and probably seek clarification from Councillor Constable, I've not thought about that. That's an interesting proposition you've just put on the table. Prime South Coast real estate right next to a airport. That's attractive. If we're going to sell this, and I find this so difficult, I must say, because it's not a philosophical thing about horses. I'll have a bobby, try a mob cup like everyone else. It's more, it's like the real estate agent saying, I'll sell your house. How much are you going to give me? I can't tell you, mate. But I can tell you this, it's right next to a airport. It's on the south coast. We've got big bridges, Mackay Park. It's a boom area. But I can't tell you. But you trust me. Trust me, we'll get this right. So what you've just put on the table, and I think it behoves us as a council to really give this some thought because I'd missed it. Have we, and should we go back to the table and renegotiate a position that says, we'll lease it to you, we'll lease it to through the Jockey Club, to the Turf Club, because if in 10 years' time it's worth XXX, which it probably will be, have we just shortchanged our community of a major, major asset? And let me extend that thinking further. Because the proposition must hold that things change, could a new owner in 10 years' time come back and say, even though we've put some money into the stands and all the rest of it, probably better off putting a hotel there and subdividing the whole thing, then the proposition is that thing that we've just sold for a price that we can't even disclose is actually worth this much. So where I'm struggling as a council is to make an informed, rational economic decision in the best interest of our ratepayers and not be one of those people that sold a house in Wollongong 20 years ago. If I'd only kept it now, I'm sitting on a fortune. I think, look, I'm probably not even comfortable putting this out because I think we could do some more work, notwithstanding the terrific negotiation council has already done. I think what you've just suggested warrants further exploration. Thank you.
I'm just going to ask for some clarity around some of the points that you've raised, Councillor Mayne. Firstly, I'd like a little bit of clarity around, without disclosing the potential sale price, the process. Oh my God. The process by which we come to that figure about independent valuers and those types of things. Then the second part that I'd like some clarity around is the potential uses other than a racetrack for that site, and the issue of, this being an incredibly valuable site. And then I think thirdly it would be worthwhile to perhaps just address, and I know we can do this later, and we can talk about a lot of these other issues as well, and I think that we have talked about a lot of these issues during briefings so far, but is the potential of what was flagged of putting a lease over what is potentially a 50-year lease. So, another lease. So could you...
Lindsay might be the second questions. Lindsay Usher.
And Director Usher, you might want to... What question?
The second question about what the use can be in the future.
The potential using and the zonings and those implications. Okay, so let's ask Mr Greenway to give us some clarity first.
So in terms of the valuation, as with any sale of land or proposed sale of land, council gets a valuation from a registered valuer. And also in this regard, this matter, we also looked at the value of the assets on the land and noting that actually, whilst they're on council's asset book and depreciation cost to council, they're mostly funded by Racing New South Wales, or in a large part by Racing New South Wales or the Moruya Jockey Club. So the negotiations considered both land value and asset value. That's something I'd have to take on notice. I'm not sure how we would do that. You could only do that with the consent of the Jockey Club, because they're the main lessee.
Yeah, so we'll get some more clarity around that, Councillor Constable. Director Usher.
Through you, Madam Mayor. My understanding from previous conversations is the land is currently zoned private recreation. The LEP defines the uses that are permissible in that. Any upzoning of that land to achieve the type of outcomes that Councillor Mayne was referring to, example subdivision and the like, for residential purposes would require rezoning of the site. That would go through the same public process that all other rezonings go through. This council would need to resolve to support that and put forward a planning proposal in New South Wales Government. Ultimately, to be signed off by New South Wales Government. That potential exists with every single piece of land that is sold to anyone at any point in time. Everyone has the opportunity to look at being able to identify a higher and better purpose for use of the land. So that's not unique to this site or this circumstance.
Thank you. Councillors, are there any further questions or debate? Councillor Tate, did you want to close the debate or make comment?
Through your Mayor, I just understand that there are some people think that they're going to build casinos and everything out there, and as Director Usher has just stated, that would have to go through a council. Councillor Mayne mentioned a 10-year time. I guarantee you, mate, I won't be here in this seat in 10 years' time. What's going to happen this time tomorrow afternoon? I've got a watch at home that's not working. It's the only thing I know is going to be right. So I think that the opportunity and the surety for the people that are involved with the thoroughbred racing out there, I believe the committee of the Moruya Jockey Club are very intelligent people, and they see the potential in the sale for the future of not only themselves but for our community, and I think that that's a very important part to look at. So yeah, I wait for it to come back from its 28 days and we'll see what goes on from there.
Thank you.
Can I just seek a clarification, Mayor?
Of course you can.
So just in the motion, and it's probably picked up something Phil taught me months ago, I'm really interested in putting it out there to hear the community's view, but I'm not voting today to support the sale. I'm voting today to put it out to hear the community's view for then to have the informed debate. That's, yeah, okay. Thank you for all the heads nodding.
Okay, councillors, no further questions. The debate's been closed. Put the matter to the vote. Those in favour? Carried unanimously.